Hello there. Today we'll be doing add two numbers. This is a pretty nice and simple problem. What we're gonna do is take two linked lists and add numbers together. And so there are gonna be like a few things that we must make sure is correct. And those things will be seen shortly. Okay, so what we're gonna do is have a couple pointers. And we also need a remainder because things that go over 10, we need to retain that. And we also need a dummy node just to start everything off to point out our first item, which is going to be C3 next. And so we add C1 and C2 and the remainder together to get a total of 7. The remainder is going to be starting at 0. Then we're going to move everything up 1. Right? So now the next item is going to be get a remainder of 10. So how we're going to do that is 10 divided by 10 is going to get, we're going to get 1, and the sum is going to be 10 modulus 10, which is going to be equal to 0. Okay, so with that, our next item is going to be 0. So with that, we have a remainder of 1 and a and the sum of 0. And then we insert that into our item and we move everything forward. Next thing we know, we are near the last one, and we take the remainder, C1 and C2 added together, add the remainder together. We have 8. 8 modulus 10 is 0. 8 divided by 10 is 0. Of course, it doesn't go into 10. And we take that 8 and we go into 10, and that's going to be 8. With that, we have a total of 8. And that's how we get this particular answer. One thing to note is that even though one thing, let's say one thing goes to none, another thing might not go to none, and it's gonna, we're gonna have to add C1, C2, and remainder together to get a new sum, which is called 9 in this case, and so on and so forth. Yeah, and that's it. And so that's our particular problem, and let's get to it. So first things first, let's create a C1, C2, and that's equal to L1 and L2. Another thing we're going to create is C3, which is equal to dummy, which is equal dummy head, which is equal to what's that thing called? We're going to create a brand new node, a list node, and we're going to set it to 0. Alright, with that created, we're ready to get going, right? No, not yet. Let's set the remainder to equal to 0, and yeah, I think we're good to go. So while C1 and or C2 or remainder, we're going to keep going. So let's get the values. So C1 dot value is equal to C1 dot value if C1 else 0. So C2 value equals C2 dot value if C2 else 0. Okay, with that, val equals our new sum. I think we can name it that. It's probably fine. So C1 val plus C2 val plus the remainder is equal to our value. And let's reset our remainder equals, like we said earlier, right here. Take our sum and divide it by 10. And also take our sum is now equal to the modulus of 10. Now let's make our brand new node, or we can create it on the fly, but let's just create on the fly. Okay, so current.next equals list node of the particular value, and current equals current dot next. With that, we can move everything forward. That's C3, sorry. So C3. And I think we can do this C1 equals C1 dot next, and C2 equals C2 dot next, and C3 equals C3 dot next. And I think actually this is if C1 else none, if C2 else none, because when it's none we can't do anything. And C3 equals C3 dot next. Perfect. With that, we can return the dummy head dot next, and we are done with this particular problem. Sum. Oh, let's see what happened here. Our remainder is incorrect. We divided by 100 instead of 10. My bad. Okay, so good. And we return. Great. So we have completed this problem. It's a pretty slow time. I think if we submit it a couple more times, we'll have a better time. But I think that should be all. Wow, I think it's the sum. Let's call that different. Let's call that value instead. Or total. I don't know. Let's just call it value. I think something with sum is probably messing everything up. Let's see if that's the case. Because all right, see, I think it's the sum. So with that, we have completed this problem. It was a video, a problem where we had to deal with you know, edge cases where we had more items or less items, or how to deal with the remainder and how to get the sum. But eventually we just added all the items up and we got our answer, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, like and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, please comment below. Right. So if you want more, check the link in the description below. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.